everybody to yet another episode of Two Truths, One Lie. I'm very excited. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, and is this your first one?
This is my first one.
It's your first one. Arasha, welcome on.
Thank you.
Arasha, you've established quite the reputation for yourself here on Smosh as being very good at games of deception.
As being the honest one, yeah.
See, that's exactly what I'm talking about, the lying thing.
Did she forget her lie?
So this is the game of Two Truths, One Lie, where we will be taking actual facts and one lie about ourselves. Each round we'll be saying two truths and one lie, and it is the other person's job to figure out what the lie is. If they are able to figure out that lie, they spray us with water. If they get it wrong, we spray them with water. So either way, it's about to get crazy, you guys.
Good thing I've prepared by wearing my regular everyday outfit.
Arasha, I do enjoy how you just lied because that is not your everyday outfit. That's
you
bad
me.
And you should feel bad. Oh, spray, just kidding, we haven't started yet. So Arasha, I've not only played with you in videos like this, but I've seen it happen. I've given notes on the Cheater's Monopoly, and you're very impressively good at this. How on earth am I just an average little guy? I'm just a little guy. How am I gonna have a chance?
Damien, don't you worry. I have thought this through. Okay. Obviously, you aren't gonna be able to tell through my lies. So I have brought you a little lie detector. I have flown in my mother.
Flown in!
Hello.
My mama's here, so if you need any help, you can ask my mom, because my mom will always tell the truth.
Okay.
Yeah. I never say lie. I need my daughter.
Yeah. See, I believe that. I believe that. Thank you.
Thanks, Mom. Yeah. So we're gonna call you in whenever Damien needs some help, okay?
Of course, I'm here.
Can I ask you an honest question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you give me some advice on a question and I still feel really strongly about a different answer, are you gonna be mad at me?
It depends what you're asking.
No, I appreciate the honesty. See, that was honesty right there.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, I told you, we never lie.
No.
Oh, no, she got you good. She got you real good.
Eye contact!
All right, Arasha, we get to decide who gets to go first, and since you've never done this before, I leave it up to you. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to read mine first?
I would like for you to go first.
Okay, I will read mine first.
Great.
Was that another lie? I'm sorry.
Yeah, actually put your cards down. I was kidding.
I just said it was my turn.
Okay, so all three of these is true. I broke my foot, and it took me a month to realize it was broken. Outside of martial arts classes, I've gotten into 2 physical fights. I can pick locks.
What kind of martial arts did you practice?
I did karate. I did it for many years, and I'm a 2nd degree black belt.
Well, that's all I needed to know. Because I believe that that's the lie.
Do you really? That's that fast? Wow, okay. Are you locking in that answer?
That is my final answer.
That I've been in 2 physical fights outside of martial arts classes?
That is your lie.
You think Damien Hobbs, would never get into physical fights outside of a martial arts class?
I am locking it in as my final answer.
Come on.
Great.
Sounds
so
locked
the way
to
this
me.
generally works is we have these all set up, and how does this work? So I would pull this back. And if you're wrong, I get to spray you with this. But if you're right, I have to put it down.
Right.
So you're fully aware of how the game works right now?
It's like getting
Straight.
Hey! All the water is bouncing.
Yeah.
It goes straight down.
But I also feel like it doesn't matter to you now. You're like, oh no.
Oh no.
It's like if we didn't.
That was a commercial, honestly. Can we get it in slow-mo? It was like if we did the Spencer spanking video, but he's wearing steel
Metal
armor.
Yeah. I was just like, okay.
Well, so I want to know how you learned how to pick locks.
Self-taught. My father had a lockpick set, and I always wanted to learn. And he was always like, no, this is my thing. But then when he passed away, I found it in a bag by itself, in the middle of his garage, and I was like, oh, this was for me. I think this was set here for a reason. If not, who's gonna miss it? So I just got to sort of like play around with it.
Was that the lie?
No, that's true.
Oh, okay.
So the lie was.
The lie is that I did not break my foot. I did not get like a hairline fracture and walk around for a month on it.
Yeah.
How do you break your hairline?
Huh? Sorry, it's a type of fracture where like the bone just cracks a little bit. And they call it a hairline.
I'm stupid.
I've literally never broken anything either. So.
That'd be crazy.
And I have been into physical
Yeah, I'm like,
fights.
I gotta
Break your hairline.
So the fight stuff, I've never instigated anything. I've never done anything I didn't like have to. The most recent one was I was waiting for an Uber on a dark like street corner, and this guy came up and he just like groped me. And I responded. And
with no.
And other stuff. And so like he was, and so he ended up like being on the ground in a way and just being like, I'm sorry. And I was just like, what the f was that?
Whoa.
And he was just like, I'm sorry. And I was like, get the f out of here. And then he like ran off.
What if he watches this video?
Then he knows not to try. And then
Don't mess with it.
And then the other one was stupid. It was in high school, and I was in the middle of gym class. I was just talking to this one girl about this thing. I forget even what it was about. It was probably something about chorus. And this guy comes up to me, who I like know fairly well. And I guess he's just filled with teenager hormones or whatever. And he's like trying to get my attention. And he just starts like slapping my face. And he's like, hey,
What?
hey. And I'm like having a conversation with this girl. And I go, so sorry, just 1 minute. What? And then like he's on the ground, like going like, ugh. And then all of a sudden all the jocks like all at once turn around. They go like, oh! And they're like, fight, yeah, fight. I'm like, not fight. This is not fight. And they were like, fight. And I was like, that's not what's happening. So like, then we had to like run the mile together afterwards. And he's like next to me, he's like, you know, we should both go to the principal's office for that. We should both get in trouble. I should probably tell it so we both get in trouble. I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't, like you started a fight and I responded. You did, why were you doing that? So
Very impressive though, you stood up for yourself, that's big.
Thank you. It's generally, my philosophy is if you can leave the situation, leave the situation. I was also stupid in high school at that point. Being alone on a dark street while getting like groped by a lunatic stranger, I'm like, that one is not like a, you better stop that, mister. It's like, no, I'm gonna make that
Self-defense.
very clear that it's not okay.
Well, I'm glad that you had the training to defend yourself.
Thank you. I punched him very hard.
All right.
All right, Arasha, I'm ready.
All right.
Tell me all about your truths and lies.
I will.
You guys realize this is the boss fight of 2 truths, 1 lie.
Is it though?
Damn.
That's
She's
good.
doing it. She's doing the thing.
I have a black belt in Taekwondo. I fell off a ladder and broke my left leg.
Oh.
My brother pushed me into a wall and I had to get stitches on my head.
How much older is your brother?
2 years.
How long do you do Taekwondo?
6 years?
Got it. And what were you doing up on that ladder?
I was checking out this room that was otherwise inaccessible.
One of those
Second
story rooms with no stairs, huh?
One of those. Yeah.
I do remember you saying something about you having done Taekwondo in our conversations before. I think you've done Taekwondo. I think this is a half lie where you did not get your black belt, but you got pretty far. You seem to me like a high achiever, so you would have probably been doing like acting things in high school, or maybe had to focus on other things. Or maybe you started a little later and you went off to college or moved away or something before you got your black belt. I'm gonna say that's the lie.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, you do not have your black belt in Taekwondo.
So, I guess I'm gonna pick that up for a second. And if I
said before face was fine, I'd actually prefer chest if that's cool.
Right.
Yeah,
So, if that is a lie,
right.
I won't spray water at you.
Correct.
But if you're incorrect,
Oh my God!
Was it the ladder? Was it the ladder? That's not
it wasn't the ladder either!
Too many. Brittany,
Oh my God. We're actually getting more wet than you are. My hair is shrinking.
You guys chose to come and watch this.
So the lie would have to be your brother did not push you into the wall.
Correct.
Okay.
My brother did not push me into a wall. However, I did run into a wall, and I did have to get stitches on my head.
Do you believe her? Do you need a lie detector?
Yeah, you know what? You might have given 3 truths. So I need a lie detector now.
Mom?
Mom?
Come on over here, Mom.
Get on there. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry to make you relive this difficult memory. Did Arasha truly need stitches after running into a wall?
Yeah.
What happened?
I know, I remember that. Oh my God. You know what? Please don't ask me. Otherwise, I'm gonna cry.
Okay. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that I became the bad guy, but okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I really wish you wouldn't probe these questions on my mom.
I'm very emotional right now.
It's okay. I like your nails.
Thank you.
You got it.
But still, I'm emotional.
It was actually a really scary experience. I mean, I don't remember any of it because I was like 2 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was playing tag with my brother and my cousin. So my brother was there,
Got
but
it.
I ran into the wall and I had to
She
get
got
stitches.
hurt.
Yeah,
It was bad.
Got it.
real
got it.
tough.
Cool.
See, my mom's only gonna tell you the truth, just like me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
All right. Well, I guess it's time for round 2.
Yeah, now that you made my mother cry.
I'm okay.
I have an extra muscle in my wrist. The other names my parents considered for me were Edward, Garland, and Wolfgang.
Sorry.
I have eaten raw horse.
When did you eat raw horse?
I visited Japan maybe 5 years ago, and it was a special at a restaurant that I went to.
Why were you visiting Japan?
Smuggling. No, fun, because it's fun,
Right,
Arasha.
it's so
Because
fun.
Japan is rad.
Yeah, and the horse was good?
Yeah, it was delicious. Had a little red sauce on top, very garlicky.
Did you feel full?
No, it was only a little bit expensive for raw horses.
How much did it cost?
It was, I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was the kind of place where you order like a lot of small dishes, and that was just one of them, and it was like on the more expensive side, so it was just sort of like, you know, tried for the story.
And what did you almost get named?
Wolfgang, Garland, and Edward.
Egg word?
No, Edward, you know, like a name.
Garland?
Garland is a name.
Okay. This is breaking my hairline.
Garland is a name.
When did you discover that you had an extra muscle in your left wrist?
I didn't say it was my left wrist.
So it was your right wrist.
Didn't say that either. Just want to be clear about the truths here. I discovered it. I found out that like one of my wrists kept getting like more sore than the
left
other.
one?
Or the right. One of my wrists got more sore than the other when I would like work out and do like specifically like chest exercises, like where your like wrists would be like bench press stuff, right? And where you like have to hold something sturdy. And I thought I had like a cyst or something like that in there because I could like feel something. And then they took like an MRI situation and they said it was like an extra muscle. It was like, they said it was just like an anomaly.
So has your right arm always been slower when working out?
Slower, no. Stronger, yeah. I favor my right arm.
I don't think that you had raw horse.
Okay. Is that your final answer?
Oh.
I don't think you've had raw horse.
Okay.
And that's my final answer.
Great. So if you're wrong about that being a lie, then we pick up. Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. Are you okay over here? Is everything okay over there? I'm so sorry. Is everything all right? Yeah, that was a lot over there. I thought I had to pump it first. I'm so sorry.
All right. So what was the lie?
Those were not my 3 almost names.
I thought it was going to be something tricky like that, and honestly, thank goodness.
The only name that they told me that they almost named me was Sebastian, but I picked those names specifically because a lot of people know I was born in Germany, so it's like Garland and Wolfgang are a little bit more like, you know.
Yeah.
Eggward.
So yeah, those were not Eggward. For a second, I almost thought you got me because I thought I had written Edmund, and when I was like Edward, I'm like, oh, you're making me go back. Clever of you to ask me without looking at the cards. I do have an accessory muscle in my wrist. You can sort of see it pop out here, which we all have, but have evolved beyond the need for using. So most people, you like don't see this extra bit, but for whatever reason, mine pops forward to the like front when I like.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's like a monkey thing.
Very Eggward.
It's weird. And I did have raw horse at a as sashimi in Japan. It was like a summer special, and like, you know, it was really good. I know people in the comments are probably gonna be bummed about that, but like, look, it's just a long cow. It's just a long cow. It was delicious. And when Daenerys does it, everyone's like, yas, Khaleesi. Like, it was really good.
Close one. I knew it would be something tricky like that too.
Arasha, I'm so excited to learn yet still more about you.
So much more, because I'm about to tell you 3 more truths all about me.
Hey, can't wait. Is the wetsuit helping a lot? I imagine it would.
I feel wet.
Okay. Okay.
So there's that.
Sure.
The first boy I said I love you to was my first cousin.
Oh wait.
I guess same.
I was captain of my Model UN team in middle school. I was a server at Longhorn Steakhouse for 3 days, then quit.
I feel like that last one's gotta be true. Because I know you're from Texas, and I know Longhorn Steakhouse. And I've eaten at Longhorn Steakhouse many a time. And even when I was a teenager, and I was like, finally I'm old enough to get a job, never once, Arasha, did I think, I'm gonna apply to Longhorn.
It was fun.
For all 3 days.
Yeah.
Attention.
So when you say that it was the first boy that you told you loved, you know, you've mentioned having a brother 2 years older than you. You'd never mentioned to your brother that you loved him? Because if you're talking about like familial love, cousin falls under that category. So you just never said I love you to your brother? You said it's your cousin first?
Yeah.
What was the second one?
I was captain of my middle school's Model UN team.
To my recollection, UN team, like Model UN, you represent a specific country.
Yeah.
What country did you represent?
United States.
As captain?
Yeah.
It's pretty f***ed up. I'm just saying, there's a lot of countries. You're not king of the world.
Which country would you like for me to represent?
Yes. Come on.
Paraguay?
That's what I was thinking too.
Eggward f***ed up.
I think the first boy you told you loved was not your first cousin. You're trying real hard not to smile.
Is that your final
It's my final answer. I'm just gonna lock it in, but I'm gonna go ahead and make sure these cards do not get wet.
So I'm gonna grab this.
I did mine a lot faster last time, just so you know. Not the face, dog.
Not the face. Maybe not at all.
You're a monster. It's one spot. Oh, why the pee?
What?
Why the pee spot? I brought a change of
Okay,
underwear.
you're right. Sorry,
Shoot
not
him in
that
the
spot.
pee-pee.
So mad at you. We are not on speaking terms. What was the lie, Arasha?
The lie was that I was not captain of my middle school's Model UN team.
I don't even know if I believe that, Arasha.
If only you had a close relative of mine to.
Do you know who could help us figure out if that was a lie?
Dad?
Your mom.
What if your entire Model UN team came out?
Model UN? Yes, you can ask my mom whatever.
So, was Arasha even part of the Model UN in middle school?
No.
Really? Wow. Was Arasha a high achiever in middle school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I say huh? Yeah? Whatever you want to say.
Okay, got it.
I'd say yeah.
I mean, I'm here, so.
Sure. we all end up here. Welcome to the Isle of Misfit Toys, Arasha. I was on the Disney Channel. So, Arasha was a server for 3 days at Longhorn Steakhouse. Why only 3 days?
I know, I don't know. She didn't even tell me, and I was so mad when she said like she quit. I was like, Arasha, still you have to go for like week, but you know it's Arasha.
Sure.
You know it's Arasha.
Yeah, let's fly her out of here.
Let's fly.
I'm sure you're dying to hear the first story then.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I guess not. We can just move on.
Tell me about the cousin thing, I guess.
Yeah. It's not super proud. I mean, I did mean in a romantic way. I was obviously very young, and I didn't realize the intricacies of love.
Sure. How old were you?
Or family.
Or family. I want to say maybe like 7 or 8.
Okay.
I was very, very young.
Sure.
Funny thing is, I did tell my brother. I was like, you know, like I love this person, and he was like, you gotta go for it.
You can't let any regrets fall by the wayside.
He was like, speak your truth, queen.
His vernacular was like really ahead of its time.
yeah, he said exacted that. And actually,
like, sister.
that was around the time that like AIM was the thing. So I messaged it to him. I was like, there's something I have to tell you, ...
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, I love you. And he didn't answer, but I saw him later that like night. And I was like, did you get my message?
Oh.
And he was like, you can't love me. I'm your cousin.
Was your cousin like same age?
He was like 13.
Okay.
So
I can imagine him not knowing how to navigate.
An older man, am I right?
Final round.
Final round.
Well, Arasha, neither one of us has called each other out on a lie yet.
I guess we are just two
peas in a pod.
Ooh.
All right. Time for the final round.
Time for it.
As a toddler, I broke my finger on purpose to copy my sister. I talked my way out of failing my driver's test. I got a near perfect SAT score without studying.
Ew.
And what was that perfect score?
It was 2280 back when it was a maximum of 2400.
And you were trying to copy your sister, you said?
Yeah, my sister had broken her finger. She like slammed it in the car door or something. And I remember seeing like that everyone was like worried about her finger and like, you know, bandaging it up. And I always thought bandages were like really cool. So I walked over to the front door and just sort of kept like slamming my hand until my finger was broken.
What?
And then I like walked over to my mom, I'm like, Mom, my finger's broken too. And they were like, sweetie, we're dealing with your sister. And I was like, showed her, it was like pop, 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 pop. And they were like, what did you do? And I was like, I broke my finger. Like,
yeah.
Oh,
I would have done that for attention.
Yeah.
Just a hairline.
Yeah.
Just a hairline.
Didn't feel a thing, just
Yeah.
laughed.
Yeah. And then, can you read me that second one again?
I talked my way out of failing my driver's test.
So you didn't pass the first time?
No, I did pass because I talked my way out of it. Because she was like, you made a mistake there that I should have failed you for, and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. Like, I knew this was coming. Like, I'm sorry if this made you uncomfortable. I didn't realize. I'll try to be more, you know, aware of that from here on out, but like I knew that car was like coming, like I know this car very well.
Right.
So. Yeah.
What was that car?
It was a Mazda Tribute.
Oh. A white one.
No, same color like burgundy red as that actually.
It's pretty.
Actually, no, more Angela's hoodie. Yeah.
I'm looking at Chance's hoodie actually.
Oh, that's a great point.
Looks very nice.
Isn't that something
That's
that
awesome.
people can get as merch in the store?
Check it out, the anti-pizza place hoodie at smosh.com.
Whoa.
Please stop calling.
Well, I'd love to tap on some of my friends. You guys think you know the answer here?
Oh, this isn't fair.
Oh, you don't have to help me. I'm just wanting to pick your brains.
Keith, could you see the card?
No, I couldn't. No,
Okay. Okay.
I couldn't.
Hey, I'm sorry for thinking you would cheat back there.
Yeah, I have no reason to cheat.
Hey, I totally would if I was sitting right there.
I know.
Wait, no. When he was talking about that driver's test, I don't believe that.
That sounded messy.
That's definitely where I'm on.
Because he also kind of said he lied too. It's like what is it? A Floridian.
Floridian. Floridian.
Hey, you know what they do out in Florida? They are liars in
When you take
Florida.
bath salt and turn into a gator.
Yeah, with an alligator.
It's a hairline fracture.
Well, at the risk of accepting the bait, I do also believe that is the lie.
The driver's test one?
Correct.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Okay. So I know how this thing works now, and I'm not gonna make you wait for it. That was true! Okay.
You really had me there.
I know.
That thing is like a cement wall.
It's almost like it doesn't affect you at all. And my underwear is soaked. Because you did one spot that just trickled down economics.
It's all right. I'm kind of in a huddle myself here. That's all right.
Great.
Yeah.
So the lie was that I got a near perfect SAT score without studying. I got a very good SAT score without studying. It was not near perfect. It averaged out to like a 90%, which is not near perfect.
Gotcha. See, I kind of had ruled that one out because I remember that you have kind of like a good memory.
Almost like I talked about having a good SAT score earlier in a video today, thereby playing the long con against the person who is known for being a very good liar.
That's good. That's good.
I'll put it there.
Ew.
Well, now I regret doing that.
Great. So yeah, the finger breaking story was basically as I told it. Bandages are cool. My sister broke her finger in a car door, and I was like, well, they didn't say she broke her finger. They were like, she slammed her finger in a door, and me just being a curious kid was like, you can do that? And I just was like, I was like, interesting, like, cool.
Wow.
And then it wasn't until later that my parents noticed my finger was like popping. They were like, what'd you do? I was like, oh, I shut the door on it, just like my sister.
As you do.
As you do. And I did talk my way out of failing my driver's test. I rolled a nat 20 on persuasion.
Sick.
Thanks. So basically, I was making a left turn, like a blind left turn, and there was like a line of cars that were also turning left, so I couldn't see what was coming. And so I was just sort of like, let go, let God, and just sort of like floored it and went. And like another car was coming, but I was like, fine, like I made it. And she was just like, ooh, that other car was coming. And I was just like, oh yeah, I know. She's like, that was a really close call. I could fail you for that. And I'm like, oh, I am so sorry for making you uncomfortable. This car has a V6. It's like a very quick pickup. I'll know that for next time, but like it is a very fast acceleration, so that's sort of what I expect it to do and normally do. And she's like, okay.
So you gaslit your way into a license.
You could say lie.
All right.
We have no correct answers this round. This isn't even a pride thing for me. It's a thing for the video. Like, I want to get one of yours right.
Yeah. Well, you've got one more chance to do so.
I sure do. 1 and 3.
All right.
This is about to get crazy. Can't wait to change my underwear.
I learned how to ride a unicycle in 4th grade. When I was a kid, I changed my name to Sophia. I delivered my high school's commencement speech.
Would they really get someone who wasn't in Model UN to give the commencement speech?
That was in middle school.
They track these things.
Yeah, they know.
What was your commencement speech about? Like, did you have a theme for it? Like, Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines bullshit as...
Not really. It was just about my experiences in high school.
What made your experiences special that you'd want to talk about them? What was the high point?
While I wasn't in Model UN, I was on the speech team. And so that pretty much carried me through high school. That was my big activity there.
Okay. And just making sure we introduced ourselves to each other earlier. Your name is Sophie?
You can call me Sophie Safura.
Okay, Sophie Safura. And you wanted to change your name to Sophia. Okay. What age did you want to do this?
I think it was in I remember it was in elementary school. I think it was like 4th grade, so I guess I was like, I don't know, 8?
And then the first one again.
I learned how to ride a unicycle in the 4th grade.
See, I feel like 4th grade is the time where they're like, you know, it's pogo stick day in gym, you know what I mean? Like, there's someone that, you know, yo-yos and comes to put on assembly at school, and I'll talk to you about the Lord, and then like walk the dog, and like, so like everybody learns those interesting little skills at that age. So if that's a lie, it's a good lie. Did you know your mom was gonna come today for like the whole time? Like, or how recent of a surprise was it that your mom was gonna show up today?
It wasn't a surprise.
Cause like, I feel like I'm being set up for this, but like, I don't know, man. Like, wanting to change your name to essentially your mom's name, that's an interesting thing for a kid. Like, if you were a teenager, I'd say no. Elementary school, I'm like, maybe, and like, you're really close to your mom, it seems. But like, what was your GPA?
In elementary school?
High school.
In high school?
Yeah.
4.0.
No AP classes?
All AP classes.
Come on.
But then you get.
If you took all AP classes, then your GPA is like
5.0.
Yeah, 5.0, 6.0.
At a 4.5.
Not in Texas.
I think.
I also want to emphasize that you don't have to be valedictorian to give your commencement speech.
Yeah, but it helps. I don't think you wanted to change your name to Sophia in elementary school. You just got way too happy when I said that, but that's okay. I don't think you wanted to change your name to Sophia.
You can also, I was gonna say, you can also ask our friends here.
What do y'all think? Because Arasha's been really stonewalled for all these.
That's the
It's not
problem.
jumping out at me.
That's the problem for me. I honestly can't read her because
Yeah.
she's such a good liar. So you on your own, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like she looked down before reading 4th grade. That was the only thing I saw that was different than the rest of her delivery.
I also noticed that.
That was it, but that could be, she could
be
have
on
forgotten
purpose.
what grade she, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Also, like, it would have to be a little unicycle for a 4th grader.
it feels like a weird goal too, as a 4th grader. Feels like.
But I feel like it was a school thing where it was just like, okay, we're gonna try to learn in gym
You can
class.
ask me if it was
Was
a
it a
school
school thing?
It was actually the unicycle club.
See, but that she's doing that thing that
That's
when she
crazy.
lies, where every word is emphasized.
Yeah, but she
does
also
that.
like, she also knows now how to like metagame the lie.
Yeah.
Like when I did the driving test thing, I stuttered on purpose, and that was why you guys were like, yeah, I wasn't believing the driving test thing, and it was like, okay, there we go. Like, but you're just so good at playing it cool for all of these. I'm gonna go with my gut and say option number 2, which I already forget.
When I was a kid.
Oh yeah, no Sophia. You didn't want to change your name to Sophia.
Is that your final answer?
It is.
I think it was a unicycle.
Oh God.
You f***ed it.
It's not the face. Happy birthday! Wow, well played.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Wow, that was incredible. You are so good at just like keeping that straight face.
Thank you.
You should do acting.
I really never thought about it actually until right now. Well, actually, it's funny because I did actually change my name, but it wasn't to Sophia. It was to Nia.
Nia, okay, got it. See, like, because changing your name in elementary school, that's a very elementary school thing to do. If I hadn't learned today that your mom's name is Sophie, I don't think I would have made that same choice.
Which is interesting, actually, because I thought that that would have been a little more believable because you do obviously know that I'm so close to my mom. So I would have thought that you would have been like, oh yeah, of course you want to change your name to your mom.
Well,
you know?
I think the thing about elementary schoolers is like you're looking for that individuality. So you're like, I want to change my name to like it's either something you saw in a cartoon where it's like this fairy was named this thing. Like for like there was a minute in elementary school where like literally for a couple days where I was like, I want everyone to call me Tiger. And everyone's like, okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm back to Damien now. But like, you know,
and
it's...
then Eggward.
And then Eggward, yes, Eggward. Hi, welcome.
Hi. Yes.
Hi. So, the name change. How did you feel about the name Nia?
Yeah, I know one day she just came and said, I don't like my name Arasha. I want to change my name to Nia. We tried to explain her, but you know, Arasha.
I do now.
So we said, okay, we can call you Nia.
Yeah.
It's been like, I think like couple of months, like we are just calling her Nia, Nia, Nia.
Oh, it was that long?
Yeah, and all of a sudden she just said, nope, no Nia, Arasha.
And this was after The Matrix had come out.
It honestly wasn't even inspired by any character, like anything that I'd seen. I really don't know what it was. I mean, like, in a very truthful statement, like, I was, of course, just embarrassed of my name because it was so different from everybody else's. And I'm sure, like, anybody who has a name that isn't very common can relate to it. But, like, it's embarrassing when the substitute teacher is like, I'm not even gonna try to say that name.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you're just like, that's not, that doesn't make me feel good, you know. And your name is something that you're like, that you identify as. So I was very angry at it at first. So I just thought I would get rid of it, and I don't know why, but I picked Nia. I guess it was like shorter. It was easier, and I liked it, so I stuck with it. And honestly, like, my family really did support me in that.
Really sweet.
Like they, like, I still remember I was like taking like big tests in elementary school and stuff, and like your family would like write you cards to like support you, and all of my cards were like, "We love you, Nia." Like, you know, they had my back.
That's so sweet.
It was honestly like, and that's the thing is like I had to come to it on my own. I didn't need somebody else to tell me like, "Don't change your name." Like I had to realize it. And now I love my name. Now it's like obviously something I embrace. So
it's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
It is.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
name.
I'm sorry you had to feel how you felt, but it's clear that you have a very supportive family, and I can see why you are so close.
We love her.
So.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if she's Arasha or Nia.
That's very sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. I love your nails, by the way.
I thank you very, 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 very much.
See, I also need to call it back to earlier though about the Longhorn Steakhouse because my mom actually wasn't telling the truth. Because the reason that I quit for 3 days was actually because it was the start of the pandemic.
Wow.
So once that had kind of hit, like that's when I had moved home and I still like needed to work. So I did start working there before it got really, really bad. And then like literally 3 days in, everybody in the restaurant got like an Amber Alert on their phone that was specific to San Antonio, and it was like, stay at home, like stop going out. And I read that, and being in a restaurant with like everybody like eating, and it's like go home, I was like, I should not be here.
Sure.
So then I had to quit the job. So my mom actually wasn't telling the truth.
Can I be honest with you? I kind of got that vibe.
So you're not
No,
gonna be
I'm not.
We went,
take the bucket and put it on you. So
See, the truth of it all is that she is the queen of lies. I am the princess.
Your Majesty. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for coming on.
Very
Mom.
lovely to meet you.
that was great.
Arasha, you did a great job. I'm so glad I got to know you better, and now we've got all these facts, and it's a grand old time.
I hope we are still on speaking terms. I'm sorry I hit you in the...
That's fine. Anyone like my nails today? All right, y'all. Well, this was 2 Truths, 1 Lie. So nice to do this again. Arasha, you nailed it your first time. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well played. We do this a bunch. We do a bunch of fun things here, so keep checking us out here on Smosh Piet. Chance, Angela, Keith, where can everyone find you? Thanks so much, everyone.